Well, it's National Novel Writing Month 2024, and I have officially started writing Super Smash Bros. History. My intro is finished. Now I begin writing episode 1. Yay, daily updates! So, I finished day 1. It was relatively easy, other than the fact that I was suffering through insomnia in the worst possible way. I could not stop thinking of what to add to my writing, and I was dealing with a bunch of wackos on social media. That was fun! So the word total you see here is for my intro for Super Smash Bros. History. It was relatively simple. I did it all practically last night after midnight, and then I got started on episode 1. And I felt it was very important to start with the actual beginning, meaning how everything started in the world and all that, from my own interpretation, trying to be as neutral as possible. And then I got into my research for photosynthesis, which actually wasn't in my notes originally. I went straight to the vegetable in question for episode 1 originally in my notes, and I thought it was a very rewarding experience, learning about the ins and outs of how plants change light into sugars. And this was in the middle of that process. Actually, I didn't get done with the photosynthesis part until 2531, which is I'm using the background for this video. It's amazing. All the things that I could use to illustrate relatively simple aspects of life. Honestly, when I think when November is done, I might give it a once-over one more time to add more different facts from other sources. And I am actually making sure that my resources are stored on my master notes. That way they are shown in the initial project. And here's my final numbers. It's 3,595. I mean, I would have gone further into writing for the day, but I wanted to get this video out, and I feel like that number is pretty satisfactory. That's a day ahead of the asked par, which is 1,667. So I did pretty well. I think I doubled it, honestly. And that one to do my best at math at the spur of the moment. So yeah, this is really without any editing cuts. You're really getting me raw and reflective of this overall process. So I will see you tomorrow with episode 2, and we'll see how things go for Super Smash Bros. History. I will see you then. Bye. Well, that was a very successful day. We managed to get done with the bulk of episode 1. Thanks to the help of my notes, I did a bit of copy and paste here and there. That meant I didn't have a lot of new words, but I had words. And I would like to show you how far I went from here. So I initially stopped at this point because there was tryouts that I had to do a pause for. And then I continued from there and got to this particular amount through my constant copy and pasting. We went through basically all of the history of clocks and also the history of a certain vegetable. And I got into the technology of liquid crystal displays. That was a fun excursion. So, and the next thing you see is the final number. 12,575. Now, that would be considered success. We are almost halfway done. Well, no, we're half of halfway done. Because 12 is half of 24, which is close to half of 50,000, which is 25. So yeah, we're half of half. However, I realized I had to add a few more odds and ends. So I'll see you tomorrow with more words. And there we go, day 3. So since I got episode 1 basically out of the way, I decided to add a little bit of supplemental material to the overall script. I went through what was needed for the character, for Mr. Game & Watch, of course, and I looked in there for objects and creatures I could do little entries about. Like, for example, I would need to do a bit on the ball. That was really simple. I also needed to do a bit on animals, and I will need to do some more research on other odds and ends when I work on it tomorrow. So that's that. Now I'll show you where I am currently. So I made a mistake while writing this point in the script. I had mistakenly wrote the mole before the turtle, and I should have put the turtle before the mole. I fixed that pretty quick, and I had to fix the intro for either side. That was a little annoying, but it had to be done. And here we are at my final stopping place of the night at 16,213. So at this point, I have basically exhausted my ability to write for the night, stopping at where I wanted to be at Turtle, and I intend to start on Pig in the morrow. So yeah, okay, yeah, I'm just losing my consciousness at this point. I just need to press on tomorrow when I have a lot more mental power. Thank you. And I'll start on cow and lion then. I'll have to talk about how one aspect of the animal is they are used for food, obviously. Man, I can't think it all tonight. It's very draining. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow, and then I will get this video uploaded. I will see you then. Olay! Here we go. Day 4 has ended. Well, keeping the theme, since we pigged out like Ganon today, I was focusing mostly on the cuts you can make when you are preparing the beast. Then I had a nap and then wrote some more. Naturally, in the process of writing this, I have a much higher appreciation for lard and how many different culinary possibilities you can have with it. Also, this discouraging of using certain ingredients needs to stop. It's ridiculous that we can't use things because it's not allowed anymore, or it's uncouth, or they have said that they produce certain side effects that don't actually happen. It's mostly propaganda to tear an industry apart. This is what PETA's modus operandi have been for the entirety of their existence. Just stop. Stop! Be honest. Also, have you noticed how much sicker people have gotten since synthetic ingredients have started popping up? Our bodies were not made to digest such weird ingredients. Where is the natural? Where is the organic? Is it completely ripped out of existence now? Is everything genetically modified so that we can get it to the table sooner? It's just, oh man, this project is just opening my eyes to what's really going on in the industry and what we actually need in our bodies. It's crazy. Just crazy. Whereas the latter half of the day had a cow, literally. I wasn't able to get enough words in at the end of the day. I wasn't quite happy with that, but I was exhausted. I couldn't help that. So I focused on the last part of it by talking about how we get beef, how we get steak. And it's a nice little excursion. I didn't get actually into where we get the beef from, but I did get the kinds of cows that produce the beef. Hopefully I won't have a beef tomorrow when I start lying around. Get it? Lion? Because I'm talking about lions. Okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye! Well, that was a historic day! I made it to 20,000 words. It's not much compared to what I could have today, but I kinda had a little bit of a justification. The world changed for the better. Yeah. There was a landslide election, and I was vindicated for once in my silly life. I ended up with 20,453 overall. Again, I had my reason. I was watching history unfold. Now, because I won, we have power over Disney much more than ever. Your goose is cooked, Bob and Kathleen. You know, it's funny that I did research on the lion yesterday because the lions prevailed. Roar! Not the sheeple, who are now the minority. How things have changed. And now you will finally experience what it's like to know what the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few is like. You are the few. Okay, I'm done gloating. I will see you tomorrow. Remember, the 5th of November. The gunpowder, treason, and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason would ever be forgot. That was Tuesday. A day to remember, and I thought using a song with the protagonist voiced by a complete and utter based dude would be perfect for today. In terms of words, today was a complete improvement. Not one of the record-breaking days, but at least I am closer now than ever to 25,000 words. However, it took research on walruses, trampolines, light bulbs, the history of them. I had no idea I had to look up freaking wheat bulbs. And after that enlightening topic, I'm going to look up parachutes. And pretty soon I'll have to, just in disbelief. I'm gonna have to look up the fire brigade. This character is so random. I know other characters are random, but this character is such a grab bag by every stretch of the imagination. Excuse me, a little bit of a gas. Speaking of gas, I'm gonna have to also look up oil. I'm gonna have to look up oil. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look at the truth about that. I've heard that the whole idea of it being a fossil fuel is a bit of a myth, actually. I'm gonna see how true that is tomorrow, but today. So I will actually see you tomorrow. See you there. Well, it's officially been a week of writing, and we're using Kid Icarus to get us to halfway. This day was consumed by finishing up parachutes and then going full steam into oil, finding everything possible to finish that part of the topic, including adding every piece imaginable needed to describe a part of Mr. Game & Watch's moveset. Then again, I had to finish what was left of the light bulbs. So there was that as well. We still have a few topics left, but at least I got myself here. My script is currently 38 pages long, using Baskerville with a point size of 12. So let's list the stuff that I have to do research on next. I have ambulances, signboards, hammers, keys, greenhouses, bug sprays, bombs, and fish bowls. Not to mention 2 types of helmets, one being an undersea helmet. Heck, Why don't I just add batteries while we're at it? We need batteries to power those stupid things. Why not? We might as well add manhole covers too. Goodness gracious, Mr. Game & Watch. What even are you? But I can proudly announce that I did in fact reach 25,000 words. Ha 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 ha! I am halfway done, baby. I have exceeded day 15. We are going towards day 16 next, which is a total of 26,667 words. I think that is doable, don't you? Especially with all those weird crap I have to do research for. I might as well add Tesla lamps to the whole thing. It just... That's unbelievable. Oh, man. This is so crazy. Mr. Industrial Revolution himself. Alright, well, then, I will see you tomorrow on a new week. See you there. Well, I admit today was the day that was the least successful when it comes to words. I had yet another sleepless night yesterday. Because I was mad at people who I thought I knew, and it was just troubling, quite troubling. I was basically shutting my eyes instead of sleeping the majority of that time. So my watch woke me up instead. So yeah, that's fun. Not. What's worse is that I didn't get to the middle of my word quota until the afternoon. I was stuck trying to find when the heck we started changing oil into electricity. It's not exactly a relatively easy thing to find online. You can find how to make it, not when they made it. So I took the rest of the time to fix more threads in my script. And then eventually I was able to switch to another topic. Namely the fire brigade. Oh boy. Fun. And then I got to this amount, which was by mistake. I mistyped the number by at least 200 in total. So I was being honest, and I put in that much more words before I went to sleep. Or before I was able to go to sleep. Because in order to get to this number, I had to keep on looking on stuff about helmets instead. Because I feel like I couldn't find anything else I'd wanted to add for the fire brigade. Gratefully, there is still quite a lot to look up for helmets. Because I can segue from the helmet that defends you from being attacked to the helmet that allows you to breathe underwater. Which is pretty funny that I'm doing the fire brigade now, because we're not doing the stinking fire hydrant until Pac-Man. Weird. Very, very weird. I guess I might have to combine all the things if I can by theming. I don't know. It's just so strange. Well, I hope I sleep well tonight. I fixed my watch so that way it doesn't beep before I wake up. So, I will see you tomorrow. Well, it was time for my research of the helmet to start at last. And with the overall story of the helmet being medieval, I thought Fire Emblem was a perfect choice for background music. What I discovered was that I wasn't going to need all the helmets, but specific ones. What I also found was that the helmets eventually all led up to be thematically connected to another piece of the puzzle, which was cool. To be honest with you, when I looked into the undersea helmets, I couldn't stop thinking of Mr. Krauss from Hellboy 2, which needs a sequel, by the way. Ugh! Come on, Guillermo del Toro, make a sequel. Make it animated if you have to. I want to know what happens. And I'm thinking animated because I know that Selma Blair is not in the best state of physicality. So we gotta work with what we got. By the way, Krauss was the best animated role that Seth MacFarlane has ever had. Next to Ted, obviously. Well, I mean, that's still Peter, but... Though, to be honest with you, I had a few distractions in my journey to write. First of all, I got myself a girl. She's silly. She needs attention. I don't mind that. I also had another girl who needed attention, who wanted to be played with, in terms of Jackbox. So, that was fun. That was really, really fun. But it was just, dealing with a girl. That's the first girl I'm talking about. She makes quite a storm. Let's say that. She has a thing for Sauron in Rings of Power. I don't get it. Rings of Power is stinky. Stinky show. It's just eye candy. That's all it is. And as for odds and ends that I could use to research, I have at least 13. I have signboards, I have hammers, I have bombs, I have fishbowls, I have bells, I have chefs, I have batteries, I have manholes, I have greenhouses. Bug sprays. Oh, man. So weird. So weird. Well, let's see how far I get in the morrow. I will see you then. Alright, it's time to let the man literally cook. As today, my focus was on actually the history of frying pans. And unfortunately, the earlier you go, you have conflicting information, which makes things very annoying. But it got easier the more I went through the timeline, because the facts were much more checked. Also, I decided to use Punch-Out because in the world of Smash, there is no cooking genre being represented, technically. And I thought, since they used the idea of boxing as a metaphor in Food Wars, I thought it would be a nice replacement And would you look at that? I reached 30,000 words. Boo freaking yeah! And I did it by going through all the materials that frying pans have been made out of throughout the years. And I talked about the positives and the negatives of each individual kind of frying pan. And believe it or not, I have one material left. That's crazy. And then after that, I talk about the history of chefs, which is going to be interesting. Well, clearly I underestimated the amount of topics I would need to fill 50,000 words. Because today, I really cooked. And you can see here, 32,665 with a total of 4,119 words. Let me reiterate, 4,000 words about frying pans. And I haven't even gotten to carbon steel yet. Heck, I haven't even gotten to the point where I say the positives and negatives of aluminum yet. Seriously, is 50,000 words for one episode? Mr. Game & Watch, you are insane! And I will see you tomorrow with more cooking! Well, my research for frying pans is certainly out of this world. I finished both stainless steel and carbon steel today. And yes, I mean today. Because I needed a nap. And the work that I had put in for these frying pans took a lot out of me. I can be thankful, though, that after this script, I will never need to freaking research frying pans again for Princess Peach. I'm honestly beginning to consider that I would need to have individual episodes for each individual move. It would be easier to cross-reference in terms of future episodes, and would be easier to put into individual playlists, as other characters need the same pieces of the puzzle. Also, yay! I reached 5 threes! 33,333 words. And again, all because of frying pans. I am really going to need a lot of supplemental to make it my own. I had way too much copy and paste. Oy vey. Well, at least I now know that everything didn't end up in lawsuits if people had the same freaking ideas. That's reassuring, I would say. But I can tell you now, I did in fact write today. I did actually make my own words today. So, it's kind of like 20-75%. Another cool thing I discovered is that certain people in the timeline come back for another topic. So that's a pretty cool discovery. And here is day 11's final word count. 35,029. And I can comfortably say that today's focus will be the history of the chef itself. I did start on some preliminary stuff, for the frying pan, but I can add more to the overall craft and techniques and also etiquette and stuff like that. It makes me wish that Ratatouille did that kind of homework for me. It would have made my life much less of a living hell, because the information I've seen so far is kinda spotty. So it looks like I'm going to be cooking again. Well then, I will see you tomorrow with that information then. Well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Yesterday was a very emotionally painful day for me. I did the least amount of words for the entirety of this journey, and it was hard. A lot of things happened that I'm not a fan of. Just say people don't have the propensity to be kind. It escalated throughout the day and into today. So, well, I will try again and see if I can catch up. Thankfully, I did reach par, and that wasn't much, but I'm grateful that I was able to get there. It was a very colorful day, but hey, at least I reached 36,000. Now that's one milestone I can be proud of. And yesterday I started on the history of chefs. But I focused on one person, so I tried to write all the words myself. Did very little copy paste yesterday. That I can be proud of. Today I will continue with that and see if I can find more. Because all they say is that most of the techniques came from the Middle Ages, but they didn't specify which ones. That's annoying. Quite annoying. Coincidentally, the chef I've been writing about went through a bit of bullying from his peers. And I can relate to that. So, yeah. That wasn't short. I was quirky mentally. And this, unfortunately, is the word count that I ended up with before I went to sleep. I have 36,146. It made me think about some things. Often question the loyalty I have with some people in my life. Others, I don't doubt. Others, it's hard to guess who will stab me in the back later. The constant thing I have to endure every single day. That's a thought I have been having since I woke up. Also, Yasuaki Iwata left Nintendo today. Wonderful. Just wonderful. It's one more bad news to add to my day. I just have to deal with it. Let's shift the view back to writing. Let's get more focused and more proud of our work. So that means I will hopefully have more words today, and I will see you tomorrow. Now that's more like it. This romp into chef history has been very interesting, honestly. I've been learning a lot about what kind of ingredients were available during the Middle Ages and what weren't available at all. I also saw that breakfast was frowned upon in the Middle Ages, but it was allowed to certain people because of the cultural norm. Also, I discovered that one of the very important chefs in chef history happens to have a story that is perfect for being made into a movie. It's kind of crazy. And the best thing about writing this script, I have been able to write an entire segment for a future episode of Can It Be Juiced already. So it's just like kill two birds with one stone. It's awesome. Oh, and I reached 40,000 words, baby. Let's see what kind of content we can pull out for just 10,000 words, shall we? Oh boy. Thankfully today I can focus on the history of the toque and the rest of the uniform. So that is important. And then after that I can get started on some odds and ends that is left. The problem with that, however, is that we're dealing with a individual who has entries in his history that conflict with other accounts. I literally likened his history to multiple choice adventure stories. However, we are now finally at the point in his history where everything is shipshape. Everything is understandable and agreed to be the same for everything else. So, there we go. So what I think I will do today, after focusing on the toque, is look at the history of the bomb. Yeah. And this is where I am now. I went to bed with 40,106 words, with a total of 3,960 words total throughout the day. That means this is my third highest word total in the entire day of the entire month. So I'll see you tomorrow with explosive content. So, we are 2 weeks into this thing. And I kind of feel I got everything I need for Chef, honestly. Though I feel I might change things up in my next once over, after I'm done with the 50,000. So, I am currently focusing now on explosives, which coincidentally takes care of a ton of characters. A lot of Smash Brothers characters use bombs or booms of some kind. And not just the Nintendo characters either. Both Konami and Capcom got into the explosive. I honestly think I'll need to make a list of every single character that used an explosive item of some kind in their moveset. Because honestly, I feel like the micro episode idea would be best for this kind of project. Because we run the gamut of jumping back and forth different topics, and that would be confusing. So, I will just focus on certain periods of time with the same object. Sorry, I had to cough there. You know what's funny? That the whole idea of the explosive came into be because someone was trying to find better life. Also, I crashed today, which is why we see the flat line in terms of how many words I ended up with. I wasn't able to capture said amount before I went to sleep, so there we go. I can tell you how much I did word-wise, and that was 2,643 words. That means I got to day 23 on day 14. So I intend to continue this explosive journey throughout the night because I slept a lot yesterday. So then, I will see you on day 15 with more booming word counts. Oh, we're in the home stretch now. I thought I would use the queen of boom to get this point across. Good old Samus Aran, who's getting a lovely game next year, Metroid Prime 4. That is, if garbage writers don't get to her first. Oh boy. So, I basically used this entire time to research bombs in all their forms, bombs, grenades, and the atomic bomb. Yeah, I went there. I went to Oppenheimer. Yeah. You betcha I did. I went to Hiroshima and Nagasaki in my writing. It's kind of needed for a few characters. Impossible to ignore. In fact, an entire franchise would not exist if not for the atomic bomb. I kid you not. You think I'm going on to a tangent with this? Oh, contraire. That's where you're wrong. That's where you're deathly wrong. In fact, a certain franchise that I like to focus on before I was a full-time Smash tuber is responsible to exist by the atomic bomb. Just saying. After I went on that explosive escapade, I decided to end this with writing an episode for Food for Thought about the pomegranate. We ended with 48,380 words and 5,631 words overall from that escapade. We needed every single one of those pieces, and I doubt I'm even finished. So I'll see you on the final episode of the Writing Diaries. And we have finally arrived. The final word count diary ever of 2024. And believe it or not, I used most of my word count at the end talking about pomegranates and the pomeg berry. The one thing I regret is that I didn't take enough pictures of the graph for this final stretch enough. But hey, I wrote a special episode of Food for Thought that will be coming very soon after I get done with grapes and mango. So, no, okay, not just grapes and mango, also Decopon. Yeah, after Decopon, yeah, that's going to be in production. I'm announcing it today. So, I I actually did run out of things to say for the pomegranate at the end. I think I might continue it in pieces so that I also talk about grenades as well, so I can get that out of my hair. It's going to be very interesting to shift, but I'm going to be still talking about it in my own fashion, of course. And I think it would be funny to do that because there is literally a ketchum grenade. Yeah, that's it would be perfect theming wise. And after finishing up pomegranate, I went to keys, then bronze, and iron, which got me to